Well, this is going to be a multi-part series. I got no idea how many parts it's going to include, but I'm here for a couple of weeks, and I'm just going to keep on having a look at bike parking until either I go to WA or I run out of places to look at. So today we're going to have a look at half a dozen places around Batemans Bay and Batehaven. But before we do that, let's just have a look at the issue of parked cars hanging out over the footpath along the waterfront in Batemans Bay. So nice new car park, but four-wheel drives with either tow balls or roo bars, etc., have a bad habit of getting into the space. And it'd be a good idea for council to invest in some of those yellow plastic parking things to stop people taking up all the footpath. Now, I know that's going to be difficult if people turn up in ginormous light trucks like that Dodge Ram, which take up more than a parking space, but what can you do? Anyway, the pub. Obviously, a bunch of people turned up by bike, but they've left the bikes in there because there is nowhere out here to securely lock them up. So they've just taken them inside, as you do. But one thing we are going to see along here is not much bike parking, but plenty of shopping trolley parking. Now, there's our trolley on the right, our first one. Now, you would think along here, being a nice waterfront thing, pedestrian friendly, lots of places to eat, there'd be bike parking because obviously people would want to come down here to places like Starfish, buy bike, and park it securely and conveniently, go in and get a coffee or pancakes or pizza or something to eat. But no, that's the only bike parking in the area that I could find. Look, maybe people who eat fish and chips don't ride bikes. I don't know. Anyway, second place was bait and tackle. Needed to buy some of those dry sacks for kayaking. And you can see on the right there, car parking's absolute chockers. And on the left, you've got all these businesses which could probably benefit from customers turning up by bike. I mean, they've got no shortage of space out the front to put some bike racks because they've got lots of tables and chairs and stuff out there. But what about the Bridge Plaza? Okay, well, that seems to be the only place to park a bike, is that you lock it up against a convenient pole out the front. Bait and tackle, another one of these places that has plenty of space out the front. And, again, all it's being used for at the moment is shopping trolley parking. So all I could do here was just lean the bike up against this concrete wall and hope it was going to be there when I came out because there's nothing to secure it against. Now, I just wanted to show this family because I guess they're fairly typical of what does happen when you provide some infrastructure. Families get on their bikes and they ride into town much better than driving and running around looking for a parking spot. Plus, it gets the kids out in the fresh air, bit of sunshine, bit of exercise, everyone feels better. You much better mood after you've done some exercise. And speaking of mood, Salt Space, great place for lifting your mood and getting a coffee and a bite to eat, maybe a bit of a stretch. But unfortunately, if you come here by bike, the only option you've got for locking it up is these bars out the front. And yeah, if more than 3 people turned up for yoga on bikes, well, the third person would be out of luck. Now, Batehaven shops. I'm going to come here and do this in more detail one day, but let's just have a look at the markets today. I pulled in to buy some tomatoes that actually have some flavour and ended up spending a lot of money on fancy Jersey cow dairy products. Absolutely delicious. And I do like coming down here, but where do you park the bike? There's heaps of space, but no bike racks. And, if there's no one sitting out here having lunch, then, yeah, I guess the easiest option is just lean the bike up against, one of these tables here and hope that it doesn't fall over. Well, doesn't always work. But look, there's lots of space for car parking. Where's the bike parking? And I'll just quickly show, what you can stuff into some panniers. You can, lots of seafood. You can go to the supermarket and buy, food for a couple of days, plants from the plant shop. Yeah, go to the bakery and, get some baguettes. Go to the bottle shop and get some beer or some wine or a bottle of gin or something like that, whatever you like. Or go to the butcher. And speaking of which, yep, I'm going to the butcher. Now, you note on the right there's a family with a couple of kids wheeling their bikes along. I've got no idea where they're going to lock them up because there's no bike parking outside the IGA. There's shopping trolley parking, but I never lock my bike up against the shopping trolley rail because it tends to interfere with people trying to get the trolleys in and out. So, big car park here for what, 40 cars or something, heaps and heaps of space, but absolutely zero bike parking anywhere. And you've got to remember that the Heart Active path terminates here. So, yep, dropped into the butcher, got some stuff for the barbecue that night, and you can see, someone else turning up there with their trolley. So, 6 businesses visited. Only 1 had proper, secure bike parking. All the rest had heaps of space to install bike parking, but there's nothing there. So, you'd think it'd be pretty easy for council to put together a plan of action to say, right, we're going to put some bike racks in at these locations to provide some secure and convenient bike parking. We're going to continue doing the kind of Batemans Bay area over the next couple of videos, and until I've exhausted all the businesses there, and then we'll move on to another town.